And we're live. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. Not going to be quite as exciting as yesterday, unfortunately, but we have some good stuff. We have a lot of news to cover, and there's finally been some sort of price action, which is going to be interesting. So just wait for you guys to come in. Yeah, we could just get started with the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin right now is trading at 18,138. What a green day today. Let's look at it on the 4-hour. Might even be worth it to change the time frame, just because there's actually something going on. Look at that. Wow. Look at that move we got. It's like the first time since I started the show that there's actually been some decent price action. Bitcoin going from about like 16.8 to 18.1 thousand dollars. The reason for this is a reaction to the CPI yesterday. CPI, which we're going to cover in the show, ended up being 7.1, down from 7.7, which is lower than expected. So people are projecting that the Federal Reserve Chairman Powell is going to lower the rate at which they raise hikes. So until now, they've been doing 75-point rate hikes. They're saying it's going to go down to 50. Some are even saying 25. But we are going to find out today, because at 2:30 is the FOMC meeting, and I'm sure you're all going to be watching it. So that's going to be interesting. That is going to be our featured story. It's going to be the FOMC meeting and the inflation and things like that. But that's some good news. Another thing is December 20th. If there's no lower low, I'd say after December 20th. December 20th would be the length of the longest bear market that there's been in the 4-year cycle. So, meaning the longest it's been from top to bottom would be December 20th. So, does that mean that the bottom is in? Because the bottom, according to the 4-year cycle, was scheduled for between November 10th and December 20th, and right now it's December 14th. So if there's no lower low, if we don't go beneath 15,500 before December 20th, then according to the cycle theory, the bottom is in. Like, the bottom has been in. The bottom was 15,500. But if there's a new low after December 20th, then we'd have to say lengthening cycles. We'd have to say that the theory's broken. The 4-year cycle theory is the 4-year cycle's broken. Unless you want to say if it's like a few weeks after there's a new low and then it goes up from there. But if there's like a couple months following, like if there's like 2-3 months, maybe 6 months following December 20th and there's no lower low, then the cycle's broken. So the question is the bottom in? It really makes a lot of sense that the bottom's in. 15,500 could have been the bottom. According to the cycle theory, it's looking like 15,500 is the bottom. I'm becoming more of a believer in the 4-year cycle. I'm saying, and then combine that with the fact that inflation is lower than expected, and there's going to be less rate hikes, I'm pretty optimistic that the bottom's in, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the bottom's in, or are we headed for that 11K in prey? Then we got Hex on the daily chart. Nice little green day over here. I guess just doing sort of in line with the rest of the market. So let's go to that 4 hour so we could compare it to the Bitcoin 4 hour. Yeah, it's nice little green day. Up from the local low of 2.7, it's at 2.9. Will it break 3 and confirm? Will it confirm the break? Like here, it maybe wicked 3 and then went right back down. Are we going to have confirmation of the breakout? That's really the question. I think it really depends on the rest of the market. But Johnny Chaos was on yesterday, and Johnny Chaos said he is a believer in the 4-year cycle, which would mean that, according to that, the bottom is in, or it's going to happen within the next 6 days. So combined with the bullish news of inflation and things like that, I think it's a very strong possibility that the bottom's in. But we don't know until we know. That's what I keep saying. Models are there. The models are intact until they're broken. So you can't trade off models. It's something to look at. It's definitely interesting. But I would not follow a model for my buying and selling. I think timing the market's just not a good idea. But yeah, very green day. Overall markets. Leave it at that. We don't. Trust Wallet's down. Trust Wallet is kind of a reverse. It kind of does exactly the opposite of the rest of the market. Like, it's been up every day when we've been down. It's been down when we've been up. So there you go. Hex daily stats. Check it every day. Yesterday, 35 new holders and 20 new stakers in the bear market. So I think we are back at all-time highs for current holders and stakers. Yes, we are back at all-time highs for current holders and stakers. There is the bullish divergence of increase in holders and stakers while the price goes down, which eventually, provided it plays out, I think I think it will. I think onboarding and growing the community is really indicative of success in the upcoming bull market. And given that all that's happening, I think we're in good shape. We got Johnny Chaos. If you didn't watch it yesterday, my excellent interview with Johnny Chaos yesterday. And if you're not following him on Twitter at CCFX Studios, thought I'd look at this tweet. One guy says, on this day, one day this SBF, so he was referring to Bitcoin. One day this SBF FTX mess will be a blip in the chart. And it shows the Mt. Gox crash in comparison to, the price action now. Even like following the correction, it's still way, way up from that top, that mount from the highs before the Mt. Gox crash. It's showing that, like, basically it's not a significant, it means nothing in the long run. The Mt. Gox crash everyone thought that Bitcoin would be over because of the Mt. Gox crash. There was a huge correction, like over 90%. The future looked bleak. And now looking back at it, it is just a blip in the radar, right? A blip on the chart. Looks like nothing compared to the rest of the price action. So then Johnny Chaos, Hex dip will be a blip. So he's comparing the Mt. Gox crash to our 95% correction. Do I agree with Johnny Chaos? I absolutely do. And I hope you do too. But obviously this is not financial advice. But yes, I think that in the long run, when compared to future price action and future prices of Hex, I think this dip will be nothing. Like, for example, what are people going to say about like 50-cent Hex when it's at $100? People are going to be like, oh, if only I bought it, right? So Bendy Bard says, if only. That's what I think, in my opinion, not financial advice. Please do your own research. But moving on, we got from at KDP Crypto. Hi there, Hex community. So Hex community is strong, right? Strong in the bear market. Like I keep saying, excuse me. I keep talking about how the community is the most important metric, but community during a bull market is not a metric that could it's not a metric that would that would project future positive price performance, because during a bull market everyone's making money. All these new projects are just pumping because they have so little, the liquidity is so thin that like just a little bit of money hitting it just really drives that price up. So during the bull market, the community being strong means nothing. The question is if during the bear market the community can remain intact. And we see that very thing happening with Hex, right? Hex social dominance measured hourly has been above 0.5654 for the last 3 hours, significantly above the 7-day average. Social mentions measured hourly hit 832, which is 868, up 868% above the 7-day average. And then social dominance measured hourly hit 0.794%, which is up 577% above the 7-day average. And then social contributors measured hourly hit 1.1 thousand, which is 1.5,000% above the 7-day average. So the social dominance, social engagement during the bear market is going up and up and up, which is huge. That really forms the base for that parabolic run up in the bull market. So that's very good news. I really like that news. That means these things mean a lot more than, a local pump like what we're seeing right now. Because there's always rips during the bull. There's rips during the bull and bear market. But it doesn't really mean anything. The price being up 10, 15, 20% from the past, 7 days means nothing comparison to parabolic run-ups in social dominance at a time when price performance is poor. That's what really means that this right here is one of the most important metrics for projecting success of a cryptocurrency, which is why I'm super bullish on Hex in the upcoming bull market. But moving on, is the bull market closer than we think? Longest bear market according to 4-year cycle theory. Bottom would be in 6 days. Bottom is either in or will be in within 6 days, and then it's only up from there. So, dude, I mean, combined with the good news of inflation topping is really good. But inflation topping is our featured story, and we are going to cover that. But moving on. Great news again. HvidHex at HvidHex on Twitter tweeted upcoming interview with Richard Hart and Ivan on Tech. Hashtag Hex Pulsechain and PulseX. Ivan on Tech. Why am I not following him? He's got 394.7 thousand followers. And how many subs does he have on YouTube? He's got 491,000 subscribers on YouTube. One of the biggest crypto channels, one of the biggest crypto content creators is Ivan on Tech. And he is a sacrificer for Pulsechain, which is huge because he's going to be talking about in the upcoming bull market. And he is a friend of Richard Hart in the Hex community, more importantly. So he's going to be having Richard Hart on, and because thanks to HvidHex, so go give her a follow and a thank you. But when interview part 3, and then I'll write to him and check. It's time. And then he responded on the bottom. It's time for another interview. That's great. No, great news. Sweet. Awesome. Okay, I'm not gonna. I can't like all of them, but yeah. So Ivan on Tech interview coming up. I've been on tech sacrifice, BitBoy crypto sacrifice for Pulsechain, Rand Nooner sacrifice for Pulsechain. You better bet when the price runs up, they're going to be talking about Pulsechain, and they're probably going to be talking about Hex as well. Bullish for Hex, bullish for Pulsechain, bullish for PulseX. When do you guys think the interview is going to be? That's really the question. Anyways, we got 26 watching. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. And let's look at the comments. What do we got here? Hexamonium. Thumbs up. CPI report coming out. It came out already. It's lower than expected. 7.1 down from 7.7. And guess who called inflation top on the day? I didn't call the top on the day, but I said inflation top is inevitable. We're not going to have prolonged inflation. I'm going to show you guys a video because it was for my first solo live stream, and I'm getting some credit on Twitter for it. So I'm going to show you guys the video shortly. But CPI, so yeah, I think it will drag into Q1, Q2, 2023. Yeah, it's going to drag. I mean, there's going to be inflation, but it's not going to be 9% inflation. It's already 7.1. It'll probably be down to 5% by then. It's going down, and I think it'll be back to 2% by 2024. Back to that 1-2% target by 2024. In my opinion, not financial advice. 11K and pray, sir. In Richard Hart we trust. 11K and pray. Okay, so 11K and pray. Hopefully, if that happens, if it happens after December 20th, like considerably after, then the cycle's broken, and then who knows? I don't know. I don't know if we're hitting 11K and pray. Just remember, everyone was calling. Jim Cramer's calling for 12K. Everyone's calling for it now. So regardless of whether it happens or not, I give Richard Hart tremendous credit for at 69,000 when everyone said it's going up to 100,000. Some people said 200. Some people said 300. Some people said $1 million. Hyper Bitcoinization. That's what people were saying. Hyper Bitcoinization, world reserve currency. That was the target before we have the next correction. Richard Hart said otherwise. He said 11K. So if 15,500 is really the bottom, are you going to take it away from him? Absolutely not. But who knows? But I don't know. I think it's very possible this is the bottom, considering the inflation report. But who knows? Afternoon, Furu, academiciated. I don't know how you pronounce that. Good afternoon. Entheosapien. Isn't the housing market supposed to continue crashing and have a dismal 2023? Are people going to want to speculate on crypto in the following year? I think we have some rough times ahead. Okay, so this is how it works. So it goes by the things that crash first. The most liquid things crash first. So you have crypto is, I don't know. It's not the most, not the highest liquidity, but it basically the things that, you can liquidate quickly. Yeah. Highest liquidity, whatever. Things that you can liquidate quickly crash first. So crypto is the most risk on, and then I guess not liquidity, but by risk on assets, they crash first. Crypto is the most risk on asset. So huge speculative media. So that was the first to crash. Then came stocks, and now it's housing. But the same way that the first thing that crashes, it's cyclical. So the first thing that crashes also bottoms first. So yes, the housing market might, continue crashing, but that doesn't mean that crypto and stocks haven't bottomed. So yes, I think the next year, people might not want to speculate. So that's why it's not going to go up to new all-time highs next year. But that doesn't mean the bottom isn't in. So we could just be, we could just be chopping sideways for an entire year, and then things start recovering. The Fed starts loosening their monetary policy. They start lowering interest rates. Then the following year, so meaning 2024 could be parabolic. 2024, 2025 could be parabolic. But just because, the economy is not in such great shape, and even we're in a recession, that doesn't mean that crypto hasn't bottomed, because the market is just so oversold. You would think that people that were bugging out about the Federal Reserve interest rates and FTX and crypto being not the people that would sell based on news probably sold already. I mean, how much more bad news could lead to a retail sell-off. I mean, I guess it would. So I mean, there could be news that could lead to another retail sell-off and a leg down, like we're going to see later. For example, like a potential Binance crash or like another big institution crashing, that could really lead to a big, massive sell-off and another cascade to maybe that 11K and pray target. But I'm saying just general market news like inflation or recession, like could that really lead to another cascade in crypto? Like aren't the people that are primed to be selling based on those news, like haven't they been shaken out already? I think like the percentage of people that are, diehard crypto fans that are in like the percentage of the cryptocurrency broader market, the percentage of the cryptocurrency holders and stuff like that are diehard crypto people it's a very high percentage, and they're not going to want to sell. Does that make any sense? I'm saying the people that are in crypto right now, like there's been so much of a sell-off. The market's down, it had over an 80% correction. Most of the people holding right now are not going to want to sell. Like they're not going to sell. It's going to take they're not likely to sell based on bad broader market news. What can crash it more, in my opinion, would be like an institution going bankrupt and having to start liquidating, like a Binance, like a Grayscale, like a digital currency group, or kind of thing. That would be disastrous. But I think yeah. So to summarize, the housing market crashes last and bottoms last. Crypto market crashes first and bottoms first. That's how I could see it playing out. So I think we could have a sideways year. But if it's sideways, it's still great, because if you're in Hex, you're earning the yield. So you would be if you dollar cost average, you'd be up significantly. Put it that way. New moon the 23rd. I don't know. Let's see how that plays out. I'm not so into those like moon cycles kind of thing, but Hexmonium. I think it's too late for dumping crypto by the big investors. Weak hands are already out. They know it's the end of the cycle. They know it's the end of the circle. It's time. This time is not. It's not different, I think. So January will turn the game. Yeah, that's pretty much sounds like what I said, just well articulated. So yeah, I think the weak hands are already out. The only thing I'm saying I'd repeat is like an institution going under, like another FTX thing, where they'd have to liquidate in some sort of thing. Hex Addict, Furu taking over. Oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Hex Addict. What's the square? I don't get it. Schwans, Chad Donner Schwans of House of Donner back in the chat, fam. Welcome, Chad. It's great to have you back. And Finn Bear. Yeah, I can't afford to like tweets neither. Okay, and Ted Cash. If you're new here, subscribe to Furu Finance channel and smash the bell. So true. Yes, please like the video and subscribe if you're enjoying, and smash the bell. And yeah. Okay, moving on. If you're enjoying the show, also feel free to leave a super chat. I would really, really appreciate your super chat. G Chambers, Chad, don't mute me. Don't mute him, Chad, or else he's gonna DM me. I very much doubt it's going back to 11K. I like to think the bottom is already in and gone. Yeah, and we're going to be covering the we're going to be covering the FOMC situation, which is happening at 2:30 shortly, and that's big. Are you more excited about Hex future performance over Pulse and PulseX? I keep on saying this. Yeah, long term, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, I think Hex is outperforming. Not a question in my mind. I mean, nothing's certain, but I strongly believe Hex is going to do the best. I think in this bull market, though, I think Pulsechain is going to do the best. But even if Pulsechain outperforms, if you think I'm not going to buy Hex because I'm in Pulsechain, I don't think that's a good idea, because you're going to end up having to time the market. Hex circumvents the negative tendency of time in the market. That's what I'd say. Yeah. Furu Finance. Where'd you go to business school? The Furu Finance Business School. All right, 31. Moving on. Please feel free to leave a super chat, if you're enjoying the show, but we got to move on. The show goes on. And please like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter at Furu Finance. Hextronaut. So, our old pal F63 back at it again. He put LP on 45 million hex from, by the way, yeah, at Hextronaut. You should be following him on Twitter. It's an excellent account. He put LP of 45 million hex from 2.8 to 10 cents. As much as I hate this guy, this tells me he thinks the price is going to move up. Interesting. Okay, so you have this guy. He emergency end staked 49.5 million hex. So as what Hodl Dog says, thank you for your service, because that goes to us. So he emergency end staked 93 out of. He couldn't just wait another 20 days. Okay, whatever. He didn't want to wait. He's got the fat finger. As Johnny said. Well, he doesn't, because he's providing liquidity. But he said, yeah. So he set his LP for between 2.8 and 10 cents. So that's essentially how he's going to cash out, is between 2.8 and 10 cents, which means this guy thinks that Hex is going to which means he thinks Hex is going up to 10 cents. So do you guys think Hex is going up to 10 cents, or is this a dead cat bounce and we're just going down more? 4-year cycles would say the bottom's in, or very close to in, within the next 6 days. I don't know. Axis Live. Are you following Axis Live at Axis Live on Twitter? So he shows a chart comparing Bitcoin to Hex in its inception. And he says, probably nothing. Hex versus Bitcoin. There you go. So he basically shows some sort of a fractal. So you have the Bitcoin price. It looks kind of similar here. Like Bitcoin, you are here in Hex. So like you kind of have that. And then he's predicting it would go all the way up like this, which means the next top essentially is going to be at $1. No, it's going to be the top of the bull market is going to be at, I guess, about $7. $7. Then we're going to have a correction. Then we're going all the way up to $100. Then we're going to have a correction. And then we're going all the way up to $350 hex, roughly $350 hex, according to how big. If Hex plays out the way that Bitcoin plays out, we are going to see by, I guess it's 2034, $100 hex, and we're going to see about $600 hex or something, $400 hex by 2032. So what do you guys think? People talk about the parallels between Bitcoin in its early days and Hex in its early days, being gatekept, being a new technology that people didn't understand, having a strong community, having strong price performance, having high volatility. Is it only inevitable that Hex has the price performance that Bitcoin has, and Hex goes to $400 in 10 years? And perhaps it goes to $1 million. Is Hex going to go to $1 million? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Hex is going to $1 million? I hope so. But moving on from there, we got So Bankless. Do you guys remember Bankless? Bankless was the guy that was crying because there are all these scammers out there. Or what was it? It was when Richard left a comment or something. He started crying. The guy that takes money from Nexo, and has all these affiliates and sponsorships. Yeah, so Bankless, which tells you to deposit your money into to basically give up your custody of your crypto, to basically give up your keys. So bank, we could call them bank. So they did the top 5 villains of 2022, and who was in 5th place? 5th place, Richard Hart. 5th place, what an honor. Next was Alex Skaminski. So that's Mashinsky, Suju. That was 3 Arrows Capital. Do Kwon was 2, and 1st place was Sam Bankman-Fried. Many beloved DeFi founders got a pass despite rugging everyone. That's a great point. Yes, many rug pulls and things like that didn't get put up on this ranking list, but at least Hex is plus 88x from day one. Yeah, it's up 88x from day one, and I think it's up maybe 400, 300, 400 something x from its all-time low. But Richard Hart being 5th place. Yeah, what do you guys think about Richard Hart being in 5th place? I think, in my opinion, well, if you know how Hex works and you know that Hex isn't a scam and you know that Richard Hart is not a scammer, that shows that you are early, right? That is indicative of you being early. The world doesn't understand it yet. Like Johnny Chaos said, if they don't understand something, they just get mad. So yeah, you are here, folks. You are here. That's what I think it means. That's the importance of research. If you don't do your research and you just look at the superficial things, not understanding the outrage marketing, you immediately resort to saying that he's a scammer, right? And you miss out on the greatest opportunity, right? The greatest opportunity for life-changing wealth. And not only that, since these people are huge influencers, their entire fan base, their following, their 191,000 subscribers are going to have the greatest opportunity of life-changing wealth taken away from them, because they baselessly slandered him. So what do you think that's going to mean for the future of this, of Bankless? Like, what do you guys think that means for the future of Bankless? That when their followers who pay for their memberships or whatever, and subscribe to their email list for information on crypto and things like that, how do you think that's going to turn out for them when they wake up and realize that they missed out on the opportunity of a lifetime? Like Richard Hart says, the opportunity of a lifetime. I don't think that is going to end well. But what's unfortunate is that doesn't mean that these people are going to go away, because every time the bull market comes back, these big accounts get new followers, because people that were never in crypto before and they don't know that the place is filled with scams and things like that, they end up getting funneled to these people. That's the importance of research. I keep on saying that again and again. If you don't understand what you're buying and you don't understand crypto and you're a normie and you just see the price go up and you get into it, you fall prey to people that don't have your best interests in mind, that get paid by these things. They don't care. Why should they care about price appreciation when this is what makes them the money, right? There you go. Unlike them, our content creators don't have sponsorships from, at least from cryptos, hopefully. That's why I'm sponsored by you guys. So feel free to leave a super chat or, send a donation in the wallet address below. But in any case, please, if you're enjoying, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Furu Finance, and please sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter in the description. You will get information about the crypto markets and finance and things like that I do not cover on this show. And actually, this one, I have a very special one. I'm covering the meme coins. And there actually is a Furu Finance meme coin pick, which I will not be covering on the show, which I think you're very stupid if you put a lot of money into it. But I do think, based on what I see, like what the upcoming meme coin in the in the upcoming, what the meme of the upcoming bull market's going to be. And it's not Pulse Doge. So just if you're thinking that. So yeah, if you want to know, don't miss it. Covering it this week in the Furu Finance newsletter. Moving on. Sign up in the description below. We got an article about Hex, and it's saying basically, Big Eyes coin encourages active participation, unlike Hex coin and Algorand. So this is from APN News. So they're saying that Hex coin is not good because it doesn't encourage active participation like Big Eyes coin. So we appreciate the free coverage, I'd say, but let's take a look just to see if what they're saying. So in almost every business model, active participation is frequently the key to success. However, most cryptocurrency platforms fail to engage their user communities efficiently. Cryptocurrency platform that gives its keys to the community will likely be secure, efficient, and profitable. Big Eyes Coin has taken full advantage of this by providing its users with unending growth opportunities and actively engaging them with entertaining and business-oriented content. From art contests to early access to information, the community is always in a profitable position. Big Eyes Coin is predicted to surpass Hex Coin and Algo in terms of the brilliant free features it brings to the cryptocurrency industries, which will see it quickly gain popularity. Ooh, it's going to surpass. Well, listen, Hex and Algo, they're putting in the same sentence. So I guess that's decent company, because Algo it's a big name. Its price performance sucks, but it is a big name in crypto. So they talk about Big Eyes Coin is introducing a non-fungible token beauty contest that can help increase its popularity. So Big Eyes Coin is a cryptocurrency platform whose goal is developing the decentralized finance ecosystem and develop a self-sustaining model through events, community, NFTs, and token itself. Big Eyes is fortunate to have a keen eye for art, which brings projects to life by participating in an NFT contest. Holders of the big token can help bring this project to life. Yeah, same thing, whatever. So it says big token holders get rewarded for active participation. The amount of Big Eyes and NFTs a user receives will determined by the frequency with which they interact with the platform. So they receive big token for interacting with the platform, which they can dump on the market at any time, unlike Hex. But users are granted access to the various events and content made available over time by purchasing these NFTs, which can be purchased with the Big Eyes coins. So another one of those NFT things. We know, you know what I mean. I'm not a fan of NFTs personally, for the same reason Richard says, but we don't have to get into that. But the point is that they're saying it's going to surpass Hex because it keeps users actively engaged. Hex users can stake their Hex coin to win rewards. So Hex was developed to eliminate the requirement for credit cards and centralized authorities, and was launched in 2019 by Richard Hart. So it talks about that, but it's basically saying essentially that Big Eyes coin is going to surpass Hex coin because, Big Eyes coin keeps users engaged, right? It gets them into these beauty contests and all these nonsense that you need a token for, which you get rewarded for participating, whatever. Point is, first of all, that's bad tokenomics. Tokenomics matter, right? They're not, the fact that, you can sell at any time, basically increases sell pressure. Hex, when you time lock, you can't sell at any time. But I think the biggest thing is that they're saying it's good that they encourage active participation in this seemingly wasted time, in my opinion. And that is a bug, not a feature. What's amazing about Hex is that you get to take your time back. It monetizes the time value of money. It pays you based on how much it pays you over time. It pays you regularly, and you don't have to do anything. So you basically earn money doing nothing. So you get to spend your time in a productive way. You can add value to society. You could innovate. You can make people's lives better because your time is paid for, because you staked and you delayed gratification. You are getting paid for doing nothing. I mean, for not actively participating, you can then go on to do better things for the world. Here, they want to consume your time. They want you in front of the screen, looking at NFTs and beauty platforms and a bunch of nonsense that pretty much does nothing productive. So the time you could otherwise be doing productive things, helping people out, making the world a better place, starting a business, spending your time with friends and family, you are otherwise on this platform nonsense earning this token. And they're saying that Hex is bad because it makes you don't have to do anything. You could spend your time in a more productive way, which is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, that's really an interesting article I wanted to bring up. I like that Hex is in the news. I like that it's getting coverage, but this goes to show that people don't understand what makes a token valuable, and they don't understand what's so special about Hex, that it frees your time. You don't have to work a job. You don't have to spend your time on nonsense. Once you monetize the time value of money, you can go off to doing bigger and better things, right? So that's what we like about it. But moving on, we have Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser. So Bitcoin Magazine reports the SEC chair said we are ready to take action against other crypto companies violating U.S. securities laws. And then, so they're basically, the SEC says they're going to take action on cryptocurrencies that are considered unregistered securities. And then you see Max Kaiser saying goodbye XRP and ETH. XRP, a little bit questionable if they're a security, because they actually do raise money for selling it. It is a company kind of thing. Ripple is a company that raised money with XRP. But Ethereum, it's like it's not a company. It's decentralized. But yeah, I mean, that's the Bitcoin maxi right there. Like, he talks about how he doesn't want regulation. He doesn't want central authorities determining currency and things like that. And then he goes straight to the centralized authorities and asks for them to shut down all the other communities that are trying to create their own currency and add value through blockchain. With regards to Ethereum, XRP is different a little bit, but the overall point is that he hates central authorities until he needs them to shut down his competition, because they're on to bigger or better things, seemingly. Which just goes to show you it seems a little bit disingenuous for Max Kaiser, to say the least, right? Oh, the banks, we got to get rid of the banks. They have to. They're robbing us of our money. Governments are horrible. We need no governments. Like, that's what these Bitcoin maxis say. And then the second that another community wants to do the same thing, just very often better, he basically runs to daddy government. That's really the way to put it. But yeah, that's really what I think. Abbott Hex is here from Crypto Sparbook. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us, should I say. And I'm sure you guys are subscribed to Crypto Sparbook. Excellent channel. And we got 35 watching. So please, if you're enjoying, please hit the like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter in the description below. Yeah. Clickbaiting users doesn't create extra value. Well said. Exactly. Awesome imitation. And moving on, we got Binance. I was thinking of talking about the FTX arrest, like that Sam Bankman-Fried arrest, but I don't care about it anymore. Like, I really don't care. Everyone's talking about it. It's so normie. The time to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried was 6 months ago, when Richard Hart was saying to get your money off the exchanges. It's not cool to say that anymore. I hope he's brought to justice. It's a little bit weird that they didn't want to arrest him until he'd go and testify in front of Congress, because so it's like maybe they're trying to hide something and that's finally what gotten them to take action. But I guess, who knows? I don't really care about that. It's too late. Binance CEO says deposits are coming back in, but sees bumpy road ahead for the crypto firm. So for a short period of time, you were not able to withdraw your USDC from Binance. There was already panic because they did not have an audit. It says here, they basically Binance they refused to show they were backed 1-to-1 for anything but Bitcoin, and their Bitcoin was not really backed 1-to-1. It was sort of backed 1-to-1 kind of thing, but yeah, people are worried that Bitcoin might go under. So let's see what it says here. Binance CEO says deposits are coming back in, but sees a bumpy road ahead for the crypto firm. That's not looking good if the Binance CEO is saying that the upcoming months are going to be a bumpy road. But Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao on Wednesday said that the situation has stabilized at his cryptocurrency exchange in a bid to assuage investors' fears. His comments come after Binance temporarily halted withdrawals of the USDC stablecoin on Tuesday while it carried out a token swap. So they're saying that they were carrying out a token swap. So what does that mean? That means that they weren't backed 1-to-1 with USDC. They had to swap tokens in order to get the USDC. So it wasn't 1-to-1 with USDC. Who knows? Zhao reportedly said in a internal memo that he expects the next several months to be bumpy, but the company will be stronger for having been through it. So yeah, Binance had $6 billion in withdrawals over the past, I think 48 hours or something like that. But let's get into it. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao on Wednesday said that the situation has stabilized at his cryptocurrency exchange in a bid to assuage investors' fear after the company was forced to halt withdrawals of a stablecoin. Why did they? That's very fishy. CZ said that around 1.14 billion of net withdrawals took place on Tuesday, but tweeted that this was not the highest withdrawals we processed, not even the top 5, the CEO said. Deposits are returning to Binance. Things have been stable. Okay, so his comments come after Binance temporarily halted withdrawals of USDC coin on Tuesday while it carried out a token swap. Zhao said Binance had seen an increase in USDC withdrawals. The pausing of withdrawals was due to the fact that the currency swaps had been routed through an unspecified bank in New York that wasn't open. According to Zhao, Binance resumed withdrawals after about 8 hours downtime. So how come, doesn't that mean they weren't backed 1-to-1? If they had to do a swap through an unspecified bank in New York that wasn't open, shouldn't they have had it on their wallets in their cold storage? Why didn't they? If they're backed 1-to-1, how come they had to do currency swaps? Very fishy. That's the thing. There's no regulation. So you just have to take their word for it. Everything is you have to take their word for it. And they've been caught lying so many times. Like, remember when the cascade started with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried said, they're going to process all withdrawals. They were backed by everything. How did that end up? The episode left investors on edge, particularly after the collapse of FTX and the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried. Blockchain analytics firm Nansen said on Tuesday that there have been more than 3 billion of net withdrawals from Binance over the last 7 days. But the Nansen CEO, Alex Van Eck, said the situation is different to FTX, which saw withdrawals to the tune of multi-billion dollars. I would say that you're definitely seeing larger than normal withdrawals from Binance. So it is definitely worth keeping an eye on. But as far as I can tell at this point in time, this is very different from the FTX situation. He told CNBC's Capital Connection on Wednesday. Svenedik noted that Binance had around 60 billion worth of assets on its exchange, of which with the withdrawals represent a small portion. Binance's Zhao has tried to project a sense of strength internally at Binance too. While we expect the next several months to be bumpy, we will get past this challenging period and we'll be stronger for having been through it, Zhao wrote. The investors have called for more transparency from Binance's business. Last month, the company issued a proof of reserve in which it claims to have reserved a ratio of 101%. This means it has had enough assets to cover customers' deposits. But that was Bitcoin. I think it was only for Bitcoin. They didn't do it for the other assets. It's an important point. But critics have said that the proof of reserves has not gone far enough to give assurance of Binance's collateral. Mazars, the auditing firm Binance used for its proof of reserves, said in its 5-page November report that the company does not express an opinion or an assurance conclusion. So the auditing company did not provide, express an opinion or give assurance that, hey, everything's back 1-to-1, everything's good. They refused to do it, which is already a red flag. That is a red flag. And then you have the fact that they halted withdrawals of USDC. That is another red flag. And then you have even the CEO saying we're going to have a bumpy couple of months. So that's looking fishy. That's looking fishy. Zhao said during a talk on Twitter on Wednesday that it holds users' assets ratio reserves 1-to-1. He also said that the company is going to release another batch of proof of reserves in the next couple of weeks. A Binance spokesperson was not immediately available for comment when contacted about the content of his memo and the criticism of the company's proof of reserves. There you go. So is Binance, after all this, after all, like CZ being that hero that was saying, oh yeah, we don't FTX, he was calling out Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, and he was calling out, who else was he calling out? He was calling out Kevin O'Leary for FTX and saying they were back 1-to-1. Supposed to be the man of integrity, the most honest and upfront, centralized exchange owner in crypto. Is Binance going to be the company that leads to the massive cascade, to that 11K and pray? How low would it go if Binance goes under? That's another question. Like, if Binance goes under, how low is crypto going? So is Binance going to go under? How low would it go if it goes under? I think since that article was written, the cascade, I mean, the amount of people wanting to withdraw like increased significantly. But yeah, that's really the question. So people are saying, is Binance, I don't know, if FTX didn't lead to 11K, like FTX went from maybe 24,000 to 15,000. That could maybe go under 10,000 if Binance goes under. But that's a good question. Is Binance going to go under? Well, if it happens, if Binance goes down before December 20th, cycle could still be intact. But after that, yeah, it's not going to look too good. I don't know. It's very interesting, though, that, after Tether, Genesis, Digital Currency Group, there were all these Nexo. There were a bunch of people saying that, like, those were the next companies to go under. And then it ends up being Binance. That's pretty crazy. Ted Cash. Question for Finance. How do you stay so focused with the Richard Hart ecosystem considering all the incessant shiny objects? Good question. Because once you're in crypto for long enough and you see all these things come and all these things go, seeing how unlikely it is of a project making it, like how rarely it happens. That like all these things, they're probably scams, and if they're not scams, they're either scams or they're just not going to make it. Because, like I say, like, how many projects make new all-time highs, after one cycle? How many projects that, had great price performance in 2018 came back in 2020 and made new all-time highs? There were 6 of them. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Monero, Doge, and BNB. So that just goes to show you how rare a successful project is, how rare it is that a project could withstand the test of time. And I mean, when you see a shiny object, just look into it. I mean, do the research. Does it bring something new, something innovative? Does it have product market fit? Does it have a great community, or is it forming a great community? Does it have fundamentals? Is the founder a billionaire that's never going to extract liquidity from the community. I mean, maybe if you find all those things in the next shiny objects, maybe Furu Finance will be on it. Maybe Furu Finance will be shilling you. But the likelihood of that happening is very, very low. And why would I take the risk? I really think, like Richard Hart says, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion, not financial advice. Please tell us more about your inflation and macro outlook. When do you see the upside, Furu? Oh, that's our featured story. Our featured story is the CPI. So we're going to get to that in a second. And then Finbear, when we wrap up here, you guys could hop on our stream on Hex Foodies. We start in about 15 minutes. Yeah, totally. Hop on that. Yes, hop on the stream on Hex Foodies after the show. But yeah, up to you. So moving on. This is our wait, where is it? So in Binance, Binance outflows was 5.74 billion according to Wall Street Silver. You could go follow him. And then this guy actually, just if you're worried about Binance, this is maybe some reassurance that it's not going to go down. I really hope it doesn't. Provided that, they're doing what they say they're doing. If they're not honest, then it's probably better you get it up, you rip the Band-Aid off now than later. But they processed 6 billion in withdrawals in 24 hours. They also processed 6 billion in deposits from their wallet to pay everyone. FTX was already insolvent after the first few billions. This is a good stress test. Only the best survive in a bear market. So yeah, there you go. So the fact that they were able to process this amount of withdrawals, I think is very good. It's a very good sign. And then CZ tweeted about it. FUD brought stress tests, which in turn helps to build the credibility for exchanges that pass the test. He wrote passes the test. The grammar was incorrect. But if you want to hold your own coins, feel free to use Trust Wallet. Please keep your private keys safe. Otherwise, we are here at Binance. There you go. So they did process a considerable amount of withdrawals in a short period of time. So that's a good sign. There are a few red flags about Binance, but there are a few green flags, like that they were able to process this amount of withdrawals quickly, which is good. But I don't know. Overall thing is don't keep your money on exchanges. That's the moral of the story. This is actually the bad news. This is what's not looking good about Binance. Jim Cramer said they prove collateral, not reserves. But CZ looks like a good guy. I'm bullish here. Loading up on their tokens. Way oversold. Is that a joke? I think it's a joke. Jim Cramer said, CZ looks like a good guy. I'm bullish here. RIP Binance inverse Jim Cramer. That's true. I'd be a little bit worried if Jim Cramer is loading up. Yeah, that's not looking good. But honestly, here's the thing. It's getting so mainstream that Jim Cramer is always wrong, that maybe the right side is actually to say Jim Cramer's right. If you want to use the mainstream sentiment as a reverse indicator, then maybe we've come to the point where you should be following Jim Cramer. Some food for thought there. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to, is you have to just be able to do your own research, because just because Jim Cramer says something doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it's not true. Although he has a bad track record. But his bad track record doesn't mean in the future that he's going to have a bad track record. That's why all that matters is the metrics, is doing your own research, is being able to think for yourself and not having some sort of indicator, whether it be a technical indicator or a fundamental indicator. Jim Cramer would be a fundamental indicator. You got to think for yourself. You got to do your own research, which is why this is all not financial advice. And featured story is, where is it? The CPI. The CPI came out just in. US CPI comes out at 7.1% in November 2022. The previous was 7.7, expected was 7.3, lower than expected CPI. That is, the CPI has been going down for 6 months already. What did Furu Finance say when everyone was saying that inflation was going to go on forever? We're in for the big, the dark winter. You know, we were never going to see new all-time highs for another 10 years because the Fed's not going to be able to lower interest rates because they're fighting inflation. Inflation top was inevitable, and now we see that happening. CPI 7.1 down for 7.7, and here it is. It's pinned. It's actually pinned to my profile now. This was said in my first live stream. So before I play it, I'll just write what it said. CPI 7.1%. As stated in my first stream, an inflation top is inevitable. People do not realize that the likelihood of prolonged high inflation is extremely low. And let me explain why. So I remain optimistic that rates will come down and the markets will rally sooner than expected. Let's take a listen. So here we go.
I keep on repeating this. It does seem like inflation's coming down. So the last inflation read was 7.7, which was lower than expected. I think it was down from 8.3. And I think the idea that it will keep going down is inevitable. In the beginning, you had inflation. You had these stimulus checks, which gave a huge excess of money to people in the middle class. So the rich people, they don't really cause inflation because their spending is constant. They're buying the same things. They're buying the expensive foods. They're buying the expensive cars, expensive clothing, all the things that, go up in price during times of high inflation. The rich people, their purchasing is stagnant because they always have money. They have sources of income. They have real estate. They have dividend stocks. They have businesses, and they have high-paying jobs. The thing is that the middle class, their spending doesn't stay constant, right? So the middle class, their spending fluctuates. In good times, right? They, where they have a lot of money, they spend more money, which really lowers the supply, and there's an increase of demand. So then that's when prices start going up. And what we had with COVID was there was a massive increase in people's money because they were staying at home and they were getting this unemployment and they weren't spending it because they were at home all the time. And then obviously the economy reopened and they had this tremendous excess of money and they were just spending it like there's no tomorrow. So the prices went up. And then they went to their employers, if they weren't getting the COVID, and they asked for a raise to maintain their lifestyle. But there's only so many raises you could really get. Eventually, the raises stop, and the prices keep going up, and then they just cut spending. When they cut spending, there's less demand, and when there's less demand and the supply remains the same, inflation comes down. That's what we see happening. It happened in the 80s. It happened, I think, after World War II. I don't see why this time would be any different. Everyone's saying this time is going to be different. I don't see why this time would be different.
There you go. This time is not different. That's what people have to stop. People have to realize that what causes inflation is not solely an increase in the money supply. It has to be spent, right? I keep on saying it is the amount of money, it's the money in circulation times the velocity of the money. So when like I was saying, the prices go up so high, people stop buying stuff. They lower their standard of living so they can, so they buy less of things, less of goods. And then when less of goods are bought, the shelves keep on restocking, especially the supply chain bottleneck. That's another thing. Supply chain bottleneck has eased, right? So the shelves continue restocking and things don't get sold, right? And when things don't get sold, the store owners and these businesses and these things like that, they lower their prices. They lower their prices on goods and services, or they just stop increasing them because if it's not selling on the market, then you have to bring the price down, right? If there's no buyer, you bring the price down. It's like an exchange. It's like crypto, right? Bitcoin goes up to 68,000. It's too expensive. Nobody wants to buy it. So it goes down and no one wants to buy it. It goes down, it goes down. The same thing applies with your goods in your supermarket, right? I mean, obviously it's not as volatile and things like that, but I mean, there's a market price. And if the prices go too high and your salary and your raises, you're not getting a raise to keep up and continue buying those things, you stop buying it. And then the prices come down. And that's what's happening now. That's why I said, I actually said another thing I said was in one of my videos was the same way people get caught up in this bull market and they think that it's going to go on forever and they never sell. And then they end up, holding the bottom or whatever. They end up selling the bottom because, they thought it was going to go up forever. That happens in bear markets. There's all this bad news, that trails market sentiment, and it feels like it's going to go on forever. And the same thing applied with inflation. Everyone thought it would go on forever. But if you just think, this is why you have to do your own research and not listen to people like Peter Schiff, who benefit from scaring the crap out of you. Because like if you listen to his, if you like they benefit from high inflation, because if there's high inflation, then you buy Euro Pacific because their investment thesis is like modeled around making money in recessions and times of high inflation, whatever. Saying is, if you could think for yourself and you could think objectively, then you could really see what's going to happen in the future, and you could act in the right way, in a way that like truly benefits you. And a lot of people, I'm sure, got suckered into maybe selling a bottom because they thought that inflation was going to continue to go out of control, and the Fed, and it was going to lead to this. It was going to lead to maybe a further correction in a 10-year bear market kind of thing. But they didn't realize that a top in inflation was inevitable. It's just economics. That's the power of doing your own research, essentially. And that further reinforces my my belief in the 4-year cycle, so to speak. But moving on. We got the FOMC. That's the final thing I wanted to cover, because the question is what the rate hike's going to be. So inflation is looking good. It's funny. It's looking less bad. So it's down to 7.1. So we've had a series of, I think, 4 75 basis point rate hikes, which is a lot. And they're saying this is the start of a pivot. So they're going to go to 50, and then they're going to go to 25, and then maybe they'll hold it a little bit, and then inflation goes back to 2%, and then they start lowering the rates, and then stocks, crypto, real estate, it goes parabolic. We go into another bull market. So here's the question. So NBC News, CNBC, that's Jim Cramer's network, call it a sign of the times where half percentage point interest rate increase from the Federal Reserve is considered looser monetary policy. Yeah. Prior to this year, the Fed hadn't boosted benchmark borrowing by more than a quarter point at a time in 22 years. In 2022, they've done it 5 times, 4 times for 3/4 of a point, and once for a half percentage point, with Wednesday's widely anticipated 0.5 percentage point move to be the 6th. A pitched battle against inflation has turned policy norms on their head. Investors have now become conditioned to an aggressive central bank, so any step down from the recent jumbo moves will be seen as relative easing. Wednesday's meeting at the rate setting Federal Open Market Committee will bring an assortment of moves to chew on. It will be as much about the current rate increases as it will be about what the Fed plans ahead and where it sees the economy heading. Here's a quick look at the multiple variables that will play into the outcome. Particularly in light of Tuesday's softer than expected consumer price index inflation report. It would be a shock if the FOMC does anything other than raise the Fed funds rate half a point. Agree. Taking a overnight borrowing benchmark to a targeted range of 4.25 to 4.5%, the highest level in 15 years. While the committee vote is likely to be unanimous or close to it, not everyone is on board. I'm hoping Jay Powell will stand firm and continue to do what needs to be done, said former FDIC Chairman William Isaac. I'm hoping they go up at least a point. Wow, he wants a point. Not even 7.75. He wants a whole point. Then there's the other side. The hiking cycle should be over right now, wrote Tom Porcelli. So this guy's saying, chief U.S. economist at RBC Capital Markets. We have been fond of saying over recent months that Fed is fighting yesterday's war on inflation. There's no need at this point to continue hiking rates, but of course they will. So we don't have to read the rest of this. The point is, it's looking like a 50 point rate hike increase at 2:30 p.m. That's when they're going to announce it. But that's really what it's looking like. And that's down from 0.75 basis point increases, coinciding with when the bottom's supposed to be in the 4-year cycle. Coinciding with FTX going under, being sort of a capitulation. That's what I'm saying. Like it all is coincidentally coinciding, and so that means it's looking like they're probably going to go down to 0.25 basis point increases in the beginning of 2023, and then maybe mid to end 2023, they're already going to be, they might hold it for a little bit, whatever, but I'm saying they're going to start lowering rates. They're going to start slashing rates probably end of 2023, 2024. Coincide that with the Bitcoin halving, which is supposed to jumpstart the parabolic run up, that happening in April 2024. 4-year cycle is looking pretty strong. I don't know. What do you guys think? Or is inflation going to run wild? Is inflation going to run wild and the Fed's going to have to up rate hikes? I don't think so. People don't realize it's very hard to maintain high inflation. It's very difficult to maintain high inflation because they could print money all they want. If it doesn't get into the hands of the middle class, then I'm saying, like, why would the price of goods and the middle class and lower class people, if it doesn't get into their hands, why would the price of goods and services go up? There's no change. There's no change in spending because the rich people spending on goods and services is constant through high and low inflation. And through good times and bad times. But the middle class, it does change. So if there's no massive stimulus and slowing of the economy where they can't go out and they accumulate more and more money because they don't spend because they're locked down, then how would that decrease the supply and therefore increase decrease the supply and make goods go, decrease the supply of goods and services in the market and make the price of and make their price go up? I don't see how that would happen. But I love the 4-year cycle. I think 25 loving, welcome. And we got 38 watching. So please, if you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the Furu Finance newsletter in the description below. And please consider sending a super chat. Just saying. But in any case, I love reading you guys chat. I love reading your chats regardless. And we're down 95%. How could I expect people to give money? I think the 4-year cycle is mostly still valid, but we saw how the last bull run happened in 2 phases, which was new. So I think the cycle might be breaking just a little bit. But it's not new. That's not new. The first I'm pretty sure the first bull run was sort of was also like there was a massive correction. Then the second one, it just went straight up in one parabola, no correction. Then this last one had too. The only thing is, like, this one was only a slightly higher high, but it was the. I mean, bottom to top was still intact though, because the top happened at the time it should have topped. It just wasn't so much of a higher high. But you know what? Breaking a bit, I guess I could be on board with that. I mean, everything's intact until it's not. My take actually is, interestingly, I think what's really going to break the 4-year cycle is when Ethereum flips Bitcoin and Bitcoin isn't leading the market anymore. So that, because the 4-year cycle is really a result of the Bitcoin halving, right? So if Ethereum is leading the market now and is what the rest of the market follows, Ethereum doesn't have a halving, so maybe that could break the cycle. I don't know. That's a good question, but definitely it will break at a point, or it could just be like enough people know about it. There's enough adoption, it breaks. Ted Cash, Binance is toast. There are SBF hidden entities seeking revenge, and it's only a matter of time. Are there? Who? Interesting. I don't know. Thanks, bro. Hex Addict. Jim Aarons. Icosa inflation is like the Energizer Bunny. Just keeps going and going. Yeah. That's okay, Jim. This is why you earn amazing yield. When Hex Pump. Okay, I don't know. I'm missing something. Red Squirrel. Oi, 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 oi. Machiavelli. Usually a crash after Fed pivot. Richard Hart excerpt from K4K's last short. Usually crash after Fed pivot. I mean, people like to point to, history when there was a Fed pivot and there was a crash. So they're saying that this time, I mean, every time is different. The economy is complex. There's different things that are going on. So I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but does that mean that could mean they'll be there? Does that mean there might be a final capitulation? It's very possible. It's possible. We don't know until we know. So I'm not going to sit there on the side waiting for it to happen, expecting it to happen, because it may or may not happen. And if it doesn't happen and the price runs away from now, and the price just runs away, then I'm losing out on a lot of mad gains. That's why I dollar cost average, in my opinion. Not financial advice, obviously, but yeah, it's possible there'll be another capitulation, but I just don't know. But yeah. And then Hexactly says, I think 2025, everything is new high, lol. I think so too. April 2024 is the halving. So that means that, yeah, we're going to be in this mania. According to that model, we'd be in this mania. It sounds like it's like how like far off does that sound? Like crypto actually performing well, like crypto being that hot thing again. It sounds like it's been years, but it's only been about a year since crypto was making all-time highs. Maybe a little less than a year since no, it's been about a year. No, it's been a little bit over a year since crypto's made all-time highs. Since, like, you could put your money in anything and you'd be making money. We've just been getting hit over the head so hard. But yeah, I think 2025 until I agree with that. But yeah, just imagine that. Imagine Hex making new all-time highs. Like, imagine Hex at like 10 cents right now. I'd be feeling pretty good. But then imagine it's at 75, $1, $2. Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice. And I do believe it's going to happen. I just think it's a matter of time. I think crypto's coming back, and I think Hex is right there with it. Not right there with it, ahead of it and higher. So there you go. What else is there? Oh, and just that's it for the news. But again, this is my TikTok at Furu Finance. I have 29 followers. I got 29 followers. And yeah, it's hard to get you guys off of YouTube. But TikTok, let me tell you something. I am not into TikTok, but that is where the next generation is. That is where Generation Z is. And Hex is intergenerational, right? This is not just about us. This is about the next generation, right? This is about our children and our children's children. And if you want, and trust me, there are a lot of these Furus out there, Furus that are out there on TikTok, telling these, talking about leverage trading. You're having these 6, 7, 10, 15-year-old kids on TikTok learning about leverage trading and hearing about these cryptos that people are getting paid to shill. Things that are bad for you, things that disparage people from crypto. And that's what they're getting exposure to. There's not much of a Hex presence on crypto, and that's the next generation. So do you want the next generation getting wrecked, getting in all these rug pulls and scammy projects? No, you don't. So you want to get over on TikTok, and you want to follow Furu Finance on TikTok, because when you follow Furu Finance and you like all of his TikTok videos, then the algorithm shows that you are keeping traffic on their platform, which is what they want. And therefore they are going to continue promoting you. And that means that all these, next generation people and older people that are using TikTok are going to get into Hex Pulsechain and PulseX. So that would be a great thing. So it would be a great thing if you get on TikTok and you follow Furu Finance on TikTok. He works very hard, to chop up his videos and put out the best clips on TikTok. And it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I think it's good to do some outbound marketing, I guess, and to reach out to other communities, bring in new people in and not be in an echo chamber. And what's really good also about TikTok is that people are just scrolling. So when I'm on YouTube and I'm looking, I'm only going to click on videos that I'm interested in, that I want to click on topics that I want to click on content creators I want to click on. But in TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you're scrolling. So you're going to land on topics and, content creators that you're not familiar with. And if you like it, if it catches your attention, then you're going to like and you're going to subscribe. And then you'll continue seeing this kind of content. So it really onboards. It's very effective at onboarding. With YouTube, right? With these videos, like the live stream that I'm doing now and the videos, the clips that I put out, a lot of it are people that are already interested in Hex. They're already Hexkins, they're already staked. So it is more of an echo chamber, albeit not completely. I think a lot of it does get to other communities, but it is more of an echo chamber, and that is why I try and cover current events and things, because that makes the YouTube algorithm serve me to people that aren't looking for Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX kind of thing. But it is more of an echo chamber. YouTube Shorts, TikTok, that really brings new people in, because you're interesting. They scroll on you, they stay on you, they like your video, they subscribe to your channel. So it's a very, very effective tool in growing the ecosystem, in bringing new people into this great community, and saving people from scams and scammers and Furus and rug pulls and all those things. So go follow Furu Finance on TikTok. Let's get to 40 followers by tomorrow's stream. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. But if not, please hit the like button, like and subscribe. And if not, I just appreciate you watching. But moving on, just gonna look at your chats. But that's it for today's material, for today's content in terms of that. Furu Finance, let's get your subscription to 5,000. Then you can interview Richard Hart. What do you think? I would love that. Yes, please, yes. If you enjoy the content, share it on Twitter, tag me, I'll retweet you, although I'm not like the biggest Twitter account, but I would really appreciate you get this content out there, have people see it on other platforms, and get me to 5,000 subscribers. Yeah, that would be awesome. Richard Hart interview, unbelievable. But yeah, and thank you, Ted Cash, for tuning in every day and for being such a great mod. Crypto Chino, stake it till you make it 100%. Timing is everything too. I have some beautiful stakes maturing mid 2024, mid 2025. Same. Yes. And I have 2026 and 2027. But yeah, I did purposely make some stakes to mature in accordance with the 4-year cycle. Great idea. Great call, by the way. Yeah, consider having your stakes. So the halving's in April 2022. So consider having some stakes mature, let's say a year after that. So that would be, or maybe like 6 months after that, or just incrementally after that. But up to you. Not financial advice. Do your own research. But if you want some tutoring, if you want an educational, non-financial advice session, email me at furufinance@gmail.com. But yes, great point. Exactly. TikTok warning, read the terms and condition. They're crazy. Why is that? I mean, because they take your data. I mean, is that exclusive to TikTok? I think that really applies to pretty much every content creator platform and people using the platform. I'm saying like your data is used. That's why it's free. But I'm saying if you're not comfortable with it, I can respect that. I can definitely respect that and can totally understand. But if you are comfortable with it and if you're using TikTok, follow Furu Finance on TikTok. But that's it for today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed the content, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, subscribe to follow Furu Finance at Furu Finance on Twitter, follow at Furu Finance on TikTok, and subscribe to the Furu Finance newsletter for exclusive content. Follow the Furu Finance go sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter in the description below. This week we are talking about the meme metric, and I have a pick for a meme token. But yeah, I would appreciate if you could put your email in the description below for the email list. It's end-to-end encrypted. It's confidential. Nobody else sees it. You can always unsubscribe. You will stop getting emails, things like that. But yeah. And please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Crypto World said Hex is a scam. Oh my God. Ooh, got me there. Why is it a scam? And I'd appreciate if you could elaborate, and if you maybe check out my other content covering Hex being a scam, why Hex is not a scam. Recently had a great reaction to that guy that called it a cult and things like that. But I have seen you in the comment section, and you're definitely expressing interest. Do your research, man. Do your research. Like I keep saying, research is powerful. Knowledge is powerful. There are a lot of things that made for life-changing opportunities that people called scams because they didn't understand them. And they missed out on it. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So I'm saying, do your research. Understand why we like Hex, what Hex does, why Hex may be prime, like exactly what the tokenomics are, what the game theory are, how it's innovative. Basically, understand Hex. And if you still think it's a scam, then like totally, I could respect it. But not financial advice. Do your own research. Thanks for the great stream. Pleasure. Thank you for all you do. Pleasure. And thank you for all you do. Michael, Ethereum merge vulnerability, forging proxy spend contract type that in YouTube search must fix before Pulsechain launch. Type that in YouTube search, must fix it. Okay. I mean, maybe DM, bring that attention to maybe someone, to Richard Hart or Dev Kyle or Walrus. I don't know, someone that's actively involved in the project. But yeah, we'll look into that. And Crypto Chino sends a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Thanks, Furu. Thank you, Crypto Chino, for your $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the contribution. And then Michael Laughlin. This is not a joke. I'm not a coder. I can't fix it. Love your show. You're doing so. Yeah, I'll look into it. Yes. Love your show. You're doing a great job. Just take a look at this. thank you. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate you bringing this up. Yeah, I'll take a look into that. All right. Hexatic, Furu the goat. Oh, thank you. I don't know if I'd agree with that, but I do appreciate the support and the kind words. And again, we got 32 watching. So if you're enjoying the show, please like and subscribe. Exactly. How do you make a super chat? You just it's the money sign. the money symbol under the under the let's see. Let's go to YouTube. Tutorial here. Oh, look at that. Tutorial here. Yeah, this button right here. That's how you could send me money, guys. Yes. This is the super chat right here. Or you could send a super sticker. No pressure. I understand it's a bear market and things like that. But click the like and subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Furu Finance. And obviously I appreciate anything. But yeah, click that money symbol next to this. Yeah, but in any case, regardless, I just appreciate you guys tuning in. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please sign up to the Furu Finance newsletter and follow me on Twitter and TikTok. And we will see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Till next time, have a great day.